So rats ne कौन control करे છે? So cats. We see the Tom and Jerry cartoon, right? It's just for fun, but again, who controls these small insects? Rats. They're controlled by some bigger animals. Again, then we have wild animals. There are again certain birds that prey on certain insects. So this whole ecosystem is balanced. But if we try to kill any maybe a small insect or a couple of animals, what do? We are disturbing this ecosystem. The ecosystem becomes unstable, and when something is unstable, it creates disasters. So the root cause is located here. Our root cause ne agar apne find kariya, and if we try to stop this, we can save our environment, we can save the wildlife, we can save the endangered species. So because of all these reasons, we need wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere. આ બધું રાખીએ, આ બધા care લેવાથી we can save the wildlife environment, we can save the plants, we can save the forests, and ultimately we can save our ecosystem. Now there is a term called Red Data Book. What is special about this book is it keeps the record of all the endangered animals, like lions, the Asiatic lions, the Bengal tigers, the wild ass, the black bucks. These all are some very few examples of endangered animals. So this Red Data Book keeps a track of all such animals, and it is maintained by an international organization. So the animals all over the world which are endangered species are can be seen in this Red Data Book. Now there are certain birds which you might have not seen in your natural habitat. જ્યાં આપણે રહીએ છે ત્યાં we never usually see these birds, but they're coming from different parts of the world, like the flamingos. Right? આપણે ક્યારેક if you get a chance to visit the lighthouse of our city, you might have seen that there are these pinkish little birds who stand on their one toe. These are nothing but they are called flamingos. So flamingos, they are not our usual birds. So they are not our fauna and flora, right? એ લોકો અહીંયા નથી રહેતા. But where do they come from? They come from different parts of the world. The reason of their arrival is the place where they usually stay is very cold. Even during the summers, the climate over there is so cold that they cannot survive themselves. So what do? They fly from distant countries, lakhs of kilometers. એટલા દૂર કિલોમીટરથી they come here. They stay here for a particular interval of the year. એ લોકો હંમેશા જોવા ના મળે. You can especially see them during the winters. Why? Because એમના summers જ એટલા ઠંડા છે, તો શિયાળો તો કેટલો ઠંડો હશે. They cannot stay there during this cold weather. So what do? They come to different places. They migrate from one place to another. Hence these birds are called migratory birds. Now here are a few things which we can do to reduce the pollution, to reduce the deforestation. So the few of these things are recyclation of paper. આપણે ક્યાં પેપરને રિસાયકલ કરવાથી ફોરેસ્ટ જોડે શું કનેક્શન છે? There is a good connection. The paper that we use for our notebooks, for our textbooks, they are usually made up of either sugarcane waste, જે આપણે શેરડી ખાઈએ એના જે છોતરા રહી જાય, that can be used to create papers, or they are created from the tree leaves. જે ટ્રીના leaves હોય, ટ્રીની bark હોય એકદમ પતલી. Papyrus, the original word for paper was papyrus. So how does this papyrus come from? It's a plant. So basically the papers are created from plants or certain trees. Now imagine how many number of pages we need in a year. આપણી કેટલી books હોય? We have notebooks, we write some letters. Everywhere we need a piece of paper. We can say that some portion of the tree was cut. So if there can be a way that we can recycle this paper, we'll be able to save the cutting of trees. એકવાર તમે paper create કરી દીધું, once you have used it, once you have completed the use of paper, what do we do? We throw it. If there is a way that we can recycle this thrown page, that would be very much helpful to save some trees. So just to give you an amount, here it is mentioned that it requires 17 full grown trees to make 1 ton of paper. 1 ton paper create કરવા માટે we need 17 full grown trees. How much paper we need for one student? Maybe you will see a few kilos. What about the entire class? What about the entire school? What about the entire city? We are still talking about just a particular city and we will reach the figures of tons. So 1 ton બનાવવા માટે approx 17 full grown trees are getting used. And it is also known that the same piece of paper can be used 5 to 7 times by the process of recycling. So if we recycle the paper once it is used and again create another paper from the recycled paper, we'll be saving not only trees but also water, because ultimately trees will consume some water. So recycling the paper saves us trees and saves us water. And lastly, what we can do is reforestation. We know what is deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down the trees. So what is reforestation? Is planting new trees. કે ભાઈ જે તમે plants, જે તમે trees forest માંથી cut કર્યા છે, we can say at least the number of trees we cut, at least try to grow the same number of trees in the forest. જેટલા ટ્રી તમે કાપો છો એટલા પાછા ઉગાડો તો ખરા. So that's the only way we can preserve, we can conserve this environment around us, so that our later generation can use the trees for their need. Because આપણને ખબર છે કે we cannot survive without trees. આપણી બધી જરૂરત વસ્તુ શેમાંથી બને છે? It is indirectly made from trees, directly or indirectly. So if we do not conserve them now, our future generations cannot reuse them. So the number of trees that you cut, try to grow more trees there. Reforestation can also occur naturally if we just do not disturb the forest. Nature is so strong that it will again create a forest on its own. So we can pledge that the number of trees that we cut, at least we will try to grow the same number of trees, and eventually that will help our ecosystem. So that is all about this chapter, conservation of plants and animals. Let us have a look at the keywords that we have discussed in this chapter. These are biodiversity. We know what is biodiversity. Biodiversity is the number of plants or living organisms or animals that are found in a specific area. They create a biodiversity. What is biosphere reserve? Biosphere reserve is a way to conserve the biodiversity. That is biosphere reserve. What is deforestation? It's a phenomenon of cutting down the forest. That is deforestation. What is desertification? So it is one of the consequences of deforestation. अगर अपने trees cut कर दिए, so what happens is the upper layer of the soil gets washed away during the floods. Because of the deforestation, there can be floods. That's why the upper layer of the soil gets washed away and the below layer of the soil comes to the top. કે જેમાં stones હોય, પથરા હોય. These elements are not nutritious, hence the land gets barren, and धीरे धीरे it gets converted into desert, right? Because there can be no growth of vegetations or trees. So આપણો જે land છે કેવી થઈ જાય? Barren થઈ જાય. It becomes almost similar to a desert. This process is called desertification. Ecosystem, we have discussed what is ecosystem. The system where all the plants, living organisms, microorganisms stay together, help each other, is called ecosystem. Endangered species, the animal species which are in danger, their એ લોકોની amount એકદમ ઓછી છે, like lions, tigers. These species are dangerous species, and dangerous species because if you do not take care of them, if you do not protect them, maybe within 10 to 15 years, there will be no sign of these animals. Such animals or such birds are called endangered species. What is endemic species? There's a slight change. One we have endangered species and other we have endemic species. So what is endemic species? Endemic species are such species which is only available at a particular place. એ બીજે કશે જોવા ના મળે. These species are called endemic species. Extinct is a word which means very low in number. Like we say कि the home sparrows are very extinct. The lions are getting to get extinct. એમની quantity એકદમ ઓછી છે. Fauna, we know fauna and flora. Flora is the vegetation or flowers, that is flora, and fauna is the animals which reside in a particular place. Migratory birds, the birds which travel from different parts of world to another part of world, especially during winters, so that they can live in that migrated place, are called migratory birds. We have national park. National park શું હોય? So national park is a way of conserving our trees, animals, the tribals, or બીજી કોઈ બી historic વસ્તુઓ હોય. If we try to reserve them, that place is called national parks. Red Data Book is a book that shows you that lists down the endangered species. Again, endangered species, not endemic species. What is reforestation? The process of creating forest again from a cut forest is called reforestation. Sanctuary is a place to protect certain wild animals which are extinct. So that place is called sanctuary. So that's all about the chapter. Again, this is a very theoretical chapter. So just try to keep this video as a reference. But along with that, go along with the part of your textbook. So that's all about this chapter. Goodbye.